Welcome gamers! Today we're going to check out Panzer Dragoon Remake. So this was developed by MegaPixel Studios, and the developers sought to reimagine Sega's classic rail shooter in an updated and more mesmerizing modern 3D format. So for those who aren't aware, the game's storyline pretty much depicts a dystopian future where monsters created by an ancient, highly advanced civilization continue to roam a mysterious Earth-like world. And so, just as in the original game, players take control of a mythical, powerful, and colorful blue dragon. And so, the gameplay stays pretty tried and true to the original title, with players having a laser weapon with lock-on capabilities, which really comes in handy when trying to target multiple enemies from different angles of the screen all at the same time. Now, something to note about this game, this is an on-rail shooter, and while you can control your aiming to some degree, the general movements of your dragon are actually not guided by the player at all. They're really guided by the game itself. So on the downside, at times there are enemies attacking from outside of the screen or behind you, and while you can cycle your positioning forward, backwards, left, or right, the position of enemies isn't always clear, even with the radar. So attacks not only often originate from behind you, but also from the sides, meaning that you have less time to focus on your attacks because you're spending more time having to cycle through. So that adds to a bit of challenge for the game overall. Now, let's go ahead and talk a bit about the controls in the game. So, the controls in Panzer Dragoon Remake are a bit different from the original. In the remake, developers made use of a twin-stick configuration, with one stick that controls your movements and the other that controls your aiming. This is vastly different from what we saw with the single-stick configuration in the original Panzer Dragoon game. So, I read some of the reviews for the Panzer Dragoon Remake, and they're kind of all over the board. Some critics said they really liked it, other ones were more negatively critical about it. They really didn't care for the single-stick configuration. I'll be honest, in my own opinion, and from my own perspective, I think that the twin-stick configuration is actually far superior to the single-stick configuration we saw with the original game. I just did not like it. This was definitely more playable. Some people actually criticized that. I don't know why, but that's what they did. They don't like it. I think it was a great game. Now, as far as the gameplay itself, yes, again, this is a rail shooter, so you're going to have points where you don't know where you're going to move on the screen. Once you play through the levels a couple times, you're basically just doing the same repetitive movements over and over, and you start to have a pretty good idea and know where the enemies are going to come from and when. So anyways, they did a pretty good job with depicting the original layout of the game. I mean, they brought all the original levels back. You've got the one level that looks like something out of Avatar. It's like a lush green forest with a bunch of really steep valleys, and you got these plants that try to eat you as you fly by them. So it's pretty tried and true to the original game. The graphics are really amazing in here. I thought the developers did a really good job of this, and you can tell that the attention to detail is just incredible. They weren't focused solely on the gameplay. They were focused on the presentation and what you actually see, because they're just trying to reimagine a game that's, decades old and really didn't have that much exciting of graphics, but it was the concept that was cool. And to see this come back to life is a really cool thing. So anyways, we could talk a little bit about the enemies. So you do have lock-on capabilities with your laser weapon. Something to note about that, you cannot lock on to incoming enemy projectiles like the missiles that fly at you or the fireballs. Those you have to manually shoot. Now, all of your enemies you can actually lock onto, including your bosses like the ship right here. So gives you a focal point of where the weak spots are, where the points are that you really want to hit to do the most damage. So it actually makes sense to lock on to as many targets as possible. Now, like I said before, you do have to cycle a lot. The enemies will move on the screen and you may have to cycle at times. You can see now I'm kind of above it. And I just spin around. See, I just got hit by a fireball. Those you cannot lock onto. So they did a really good job with this game. In my own opinion, I would probably give it a 7 out of 10. I think it was a really good game. You know, I don't know why people knock this so much. You know, yeah, you know, it's a rail shooter, and just like the original game, it's not perfect because it wasn't intended to be. It's intended to be something that's visually appealing, almost like a movie. It has all these cinematic scenes, and it's supposed to be the experience and not so much just the gameplay itself. That's what rail shooters are about. You know, you have a presentation of the story and it just slowly builds up as you move into the game. So anyways, many thanks for watching. I'm going to play through all the way to the end so you guys can check out the ending sequence and the credits. And I'm just going to go ahead and phase out the commentary here. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date with our latest videos. And have you played this game? If you have, or if you're interested in playing it, definitely check it out. It's still available on Steam right now. In fact, they just had a sale this week. I got the game for a little over $6. I totally recommend it. Just like the best $6 I have ever spent. Totally worth checking out. I think it's available on the PlayStation and Wii. I'm not sure. I don't know what the prices are there, but it's like $6 on Steam right now. And they seem to have a sale once every couple of months. So anyways, if you play this game, what are your thoughts on it? Go ahead and let me know below in the comments section. And if you haven't played it, what do you think about the video? Is this something you'd be interested in? Once again, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to go ahead and tune out. I'm just going to play through the rest of the game.